Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here, especially if you're someone who depends on Social Security benefits or has been wondering how much more you might be getting in the near future. Today, we've got some major news that could significantly affect the wallets of millions of Americans, particularly retirees, people with disabilities, and survivors. For years, Social Security has been under the microscope, with many people voicing their concerns about whether the benefits keep up with inflation and the rising cost of living. So, the big question today is, will Social Security benefits increase by $200 a month starting in 2025? And, more importantly, how will this impact your financial situation moving forward? Stick with me, because we're going to dive deep into everything you need to know about these potential changes and what they mean for you. Now, before we go any further, let me just say this: if you're someone who relies on Social Security to get by, or even if you're just curious about the future of the program, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely ring that bell so you don't miss any important updates on Social Security or personal finance tips that could help you stay ahead of the curve. Alright, let's jump right into this, because this could be one of the most important updates you hear all year. To really understand why this potential $200 increase could happen, we need to take a quick step back and look at the history of Social Security. For many of us, Social Security represents a critical part of retirement income or benefits for those who are unable to work due to a disability. It's a program that's been around for decades and is funded through payroll taxes paid by workers and employers. However, what you might not know is that the amount people get from Social Security every month hasn't always kept pace with the rise in the cost of living. For years, the increases in Social Security benefits have been relatively small, and in some cases, barely enough to cover basic needs like food, rent, and healthcare. This has led to growing concern among retirees and people with disabilities about whether their benefits are enough to live on. To combat this issue, the Social Security Administration has implemented something called the Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA. Essentially, this is an annual adjustment to Social Security benefits meant to help keep up with inflation. For the past few years, inflation has been particularly high, so in 2023, we saw one of the largest COLA increases in decades, an 8.7% bump. But even with that large increase, many people still found it difficult to keep up with the skyrocketing prices of everyday essentials. This is where things are looking up for 2025. If current projections are correct, 2025 could bring in an even bigger increase, possibly up to $200 a month. Yes, you heard that right, a $200 increase in monthly benefits. But how exactly did we arrive at this point, and why might 2025 be the year when we finally see this kind of change? Well, the main factor driving the potential for a larger COLA increase in 2025 is the rising inflation and the ongoing economic recovery. As you know, inflation has been a huge issue over the past couple of years, but experts are hopeful that things will start to stabilize in the near future. When inflation is high, it forces the government to increase Social Security benefits in order to help seniors, people with disabilities, and others who rely on these checks to maintain their purchasing power. In fact, as we head into 2024, many experts are predicting that inflation will remain relatively high through the next year, which means that the COLA for 2025 could be significantly larger than in previous years. But it's not just inflation that's driving this potential boost in benefits. The broader economic recovery is also a major factor. As the economy improves, wages tend to go up, and this often has a direct impact on Social Security benefits. Higher wages usually mean more tax revenue for the Social Security Trust Fund, which in turn allows the program to pay out larger benefits. This is why many analysts are projecting that the 2025 COLA could be significantly higher, possibly reaching as much as 10% or more. While it's still early to say exactly what the COLA will be, even a modest increase of 8–10% could lead to a $200 per month raise for Social Security recipients. Now, let's talk about exactly how much more you might be getting if these projections hold true. For example, if you're currently receiving $1,500 per month from Social Security, a $200 increase would bump your monthly check up to $17. While that might not sound like a huge difference on paper, for many seniors and people with disabilities, an extra $200 could mean the difference between being able to buy groceries or skipping a week, being able to afford prescription medication, or worrying less about paying rent. For those living on fixed incomes, this extra money could make a world of difference, easing some of the financial pressures they've been facing. But here's where things get interesting. Not everyone is going to see the same increase. The amount you'll see depends largely on how much you're currently receiving from Social Security, as well as the exact COLA percentage increase that ends up being implemented. For example, people who are receiving lower benefits might see a higher dollar amount increase. But even if the COLA increase isn't exactly $200 for everyone, it could still be a significant bump for many people who rely on Social Security to get by. And remember, this increase would apply to all categories of Social Security recipients, not just retirees. People who are disabled and collecting Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, as well as survivors like widows and widowers would all see similar increases to their monthly checks. This is definitely good news, but it raises another important question: how long can Social Security keep up with these increases? As you might know, Social Security is facing a financial crisis. The program is funded through payroll taxes, and as the population ages, the number of beneficiaries is increasing, while the number of workers contributing to the system is shrinking. This has led to concerns about the long-term solvency of the program. In fact, some projections suggest that Social Security could face significant funding shortfalls as early as 2034. This means that unless Congress takes action to shore up the program, there could be cuts to benefits down the line. That's why it's crucial to stay informed and keep an eye on what's happening with Social Security reform. Some potential solutions are on the table, including increasing the payroll tax rate, raising the retirement age, or even changing the way benefits are calculated. While no major reforms have been passed yet, the fact that there's so much discussion around these issues means that Social Security is likely to evolve in the coming years. For now, though, we can be optimistic about the potential for larger COLA increases in 2025, which could provide some relief for beneficiaries who've been struggling with high living costs. If you're wondering how you can best prepare for these changes, the first thing you should do is stay informed. Make sure you're following news updates about Social Security and reading any official notices you get from the Social Security Administration. They'll send out updates when changes are made or when you can expect to see higher benefits. You should also make sure to regularly check your Social Security statement online. This will give you a clear picture of how much you're projected to receive in retirement, as well as any other potential changes. Finally, if you haven't already, you might want to think about diversifying your retirement income. While Social Security is an important part of most people's retirement plans, it's often not enough to fully support you in the long term. Setting up a 401(k), IRA, or other retirement savings account can help supplement your benefits and give you more financial security when you're older. So, what do you think? How would a $200 increase in your Social Security benefits affect your finances? Would it make a significant difference in your life, or would it just be a small bump in the road? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Social Security will continue to provide adequate benefits in the future, or do you think more needs to be done to ensure its solvency? Let's talk about it. And as always, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and share it with anyone you know who could benefit from this information. Stay tuned for more updates, and I'll see you in the next video.